Today is May 13, 2026. It is 4:58 a.m. This is video number 3. First video was on this channel. What did I talk about? I think Kate receiving award. Video number 2, I spoke about Harry and Meghan and Disney. So now I'm back here again. Video number 3, we're gonna talk about some politics in US politics. Majority of them, I think, are videos, so I want to share them with you. All right, so let's go straight. I'll try not to go in the comments so I don't make this video too long. Okay, so that was the last tweet that I read on my last video. All right, so this is the first tweet. All right, let me pause. Alright, well, for all those people in Alabama that voted for Trump because he was going to solve their sewage crisis with new septic tanks, we're just told it's not happening and it was DEI. Do those people, I think they're using that DEI as the same way with Obamacare, where those people don't even know that ACA was Obamacare. And now they're using the DEI as a negative annotation. Do that. Oh my God. I can't understand. I don't know what to say. Let's listen. It's 1 minute and 41 seconds.
Well. White Alabamians in rural America. Come here. Your hate and your racism, well, it's about to cost you, dear. That's right. They were promised new septic tanks, but the pedo-in-chief called it illegal DEI. The Justice Department ended a deal that helped fund a
illegal DEI. Do they know? I mean, Trump knows his people, okay? He knows his people, his racist people. Do they know what the septic tank is? Do they know? They should look it up. What that has to do with DEI. Let's continue. I'm sorry I'm laughing about this, but hey, one thing I have to say with Trump being elected is that those people are, those white racists are feeling the pain, the cost of being racist, because he's taking it to them. Let's listen.
Solution to the sewage crisis in rural Alabama. Because the pedo-in-chief says it's DEI. Yeah. Fixing the sewage problem in your rural community can't be done today because, well, there's a few black people that live there. So you will have to have sewage running through your home and your streets too, because there's some black people who live next to you. Racism, dear. While you try to oppress others, just know what you're really doing is making your own personal life be filled with all sorts of strife. Yeah. Enjoy the smell of shit as it rolls down your streets.
Literally. Oh my goodness.
The backwoods of your dirt roads, baby.
Unbelievable. He probably gonna use that money, whatever they had set aside for that septic tank kind of thing. He probably gonna use that for the money and said, hey, let's just put DEI next to it. Alright, so next tweet. Raising black children around white people will develop racial low self-esteem. Growing up black and suburbia will damage your self-esteem. There is no way around it. All right, let's listen to this. I put it, that doesn't mean I agree with it, but let's see here. Almost 3 minutes.
Can we talk about the suburban black girl to baby mama in the hood pipeline?
As a dark-skinned black girl who grew up in suburbia, it's really not that complicated. White people bullied me every day, specifically white boys. They would make fun of my skin, they would make fun of my hair, they would make fun of my clothes. I used to wear all black clothes. I have on baby fat, apple bottom. I was really dressed to the nines had I been in a black school. They would steal my things. They would call me gorillas, monkeys, and niggas. And this would happen virtually every day. Do you think any black boy ever came to my defense? No, because he's enjoying boyhood. Defending a black girl would mean betraying boyhood. Boyhood was more important to black boys than blackness, at least in suburbia. So you have all of these black boys who look just like you, who won't talk to you, who won't deal with you, because who won't approve of it? The other white boys. I had a black boy ask me to the school dance, and the other boys bullied him so bad for asking me that he unasked me. Now I have all these black boys who look just like me, same skin complexion, if not darker, who will only talk to white girls, white adjacent girls, or biracial girls. And so a black girl who looks like me only learned to do one or two things. Assimilate. You're gonna assimilate. You're gonna get wigs. You're gonna change your voice. You're gonna change your clothes. You're gonna do whatever it is you can do to be accepted so you won't be ostracized, bullied, and shamed every day just for being black. Or you're gonna go to the hood. Everybody wants a black girl, except in the hood, you're a hot commodity. Cause ain't no black girls in the hood that walk like you, that talk like you, that dress like you. Now you got endless options. Same reason that fat white girls end up with a hood nigga, the same reason why suburban black girls end up with one. And that's why I say it always comes down to socialization, because that socialization period is brutal. It's not neutral. It's not people introducing you to concepts that you should follow. It's people enforcing them upon you. And if you don't, you are shamed. You are victimized. And it's all done by boys to girls. And the boys never speak up because they have pack mentality. You want to talk about the suburban black girl to hood baby mama pipeline? Let's talk about the suburban black boy to white wife pipeline, to biracial kids pipeline. Because that one is just as common. You got all these black boys in suburban neighborhoods who are being socialized to hate black women, who hate themselves, to hate their own skin, who produce with people who don't look like them so the kids don't look like them. These things are not separate. They are the causality of raising black people around white people. And the cost is extreme. The cost is internalized self-hate, internalized racism. There's a reason why you never see the black boys from the suburbs with the hood girls, because they have the luxury of putting their manhood before their blackness. Black women do not have that luxury. They're always going to be at the bottom of that total pole. Every black boy I went to school with is married to a white girl, and every black girl is a hood baby mama.
Okay, I don't know what to say about that. There's one thing where she says something about the pact. The boys have that pact. It's time for women to have that pact as well. I don't know, with all those things that's going on in the US, with racism is like forefront. Before it was like underground. It was being done, but not in the, like on a stage level like it is right now. So maybe some stuff can be learned. People used to be dismissive of it, or the US is not racist, is not that. So maybe this is a learning curve here. I don't know what to say about that. All right, so I thought I shared this. I do not have her experience. I didn't live in the suburbia and things like that. So, all right, so let's go to the next tweet. I didn't even go in the comments. There's probably some good comment below it, but next tweet. I thought while the video was playing, I decided to put this one right after it. All right, white kid calls black kid the N-word. All right, the N-word. His dad was not having it. Way to go, dad. All right, so this is like a step forward to fix what probably the father's grandfather used to do. So now the correction is being done in an instant.
But when he came sliding down, he talking about niggers or something. He said messing with it. Your son said that. So I just told my uncle that I was gonna come down here and say something, because I don't play like that. Y'all gotta understand.
Who'd you call the N-word?
Me.
Get your ass over here and apologize.
Sorry.
You good.
And then I don't understand, is this the same little boy that was just on the trampoline the other day? And your mom came, sat on the curb across the house?
Yeah, throwing the temper tantrum.
What happened? From then to now?
Yeah, watch your face on that.
Because, like, to be honest, I don't like the way that my baby handled it.
Yeah, I don't either.
Even though that he felt like he was protecting her and protecting himself, but you cannot do that. And I don't know where you learned that word from or why you think it's such a trigger, but did we treat you like that when we came to our house?
Okay, at the end of the day, with this video, at the end of the day, the adults are being adults here. Okay? Both sides, the father, the white father, and the mother, whoever, I don't know if it's the mother. All right, the adult who's talking here, the black lady, who I'm seeing the hand here, the adults are being adult here. Okay? Let's continue.
We allowed you, your sister, we allowed you in. That's not okay. It's never okay to use that word.
Under any circumstance.
And we've given you no inkling to disrespect me or my son or my niece like that.
And why are you telling an 8-year-old girl fetch your ball like you're a boss, like you run something?
The same ball that they stopped you on your bike and let you play with them with.
And then you gonna have a nerve to come over here and talk about they jumped me? Don't fucking put your head down. Look up. That's coward shit.
Like I said, it started from up there. And like I said,
You owe every fucking last person here an apology.
You don't owe me.
And the next time you
I
fucking
work
last
16 hours
beat your
shifts, so
fucking ass
when I got
in front
that
of
phone
everybody.
call,
You hear
I'm
me?
thinking it's men in front of the
You
house.
apologize to every
talking
fucking
like that's
person
him.
here.
I'm like,
Period.
I get over
Now,
there.
go.
Okay, what's going on?
And you be sincere about it. You know what's fixing to happen.
Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not even gonna accept it.
If this lady had to get in her fucking car and drive home.
Alright, so I saw this, I thought I put it here. It starts this young. That father is doing exactly what is required to change the mindset. I think this little boy is gonna learn, and hopefully it change. Alright, so again, I'm not gonna go in the comment. Let's go to the next tweet. I actually had this further down, like at the end of my video, but since the last video was talking about suburbia, this and that, so I thought I shared that. Alright, next tweet. The White House published new counterterrorism playbook that target U.S. citizens. Alright, so let's listen. That should have been first, actually.
The White House just published a 16-page counterterrorism strategy vowing to kill American citizens that they deem enemies. Quote, "We will find you and we will kill you," signed by President Donald J. Trump. And I want us to pay close attention to the language in this document, because the last time white supremacists published a document, a lot of people said, fuck that document, I ain't reading that shit, it is what it is. And then 53% of the goals in Project 2025 actually became reality, like the regression of voting rights across the country, the rollback of LGBT rights, the decimation of the Department of Education, and a dramatic increase in military budgets for more wars, among many other things. Like Project 2025, this document also has a lot of propaganda that's used to justify their bigger motives ahead of time, because in it, they use a lot of coded language that emboldens white supremacists for what's to come. For example, it says, "Last year, I rightfully designated the deadly cartels as terrorist organizations and began using the strength and power of the US military to stop and destroy their operations." Now, here's the key difference between what they say and what actually happens. Because if you remember, on day one, Trump did sign an executive order that designated drug cartels as terrorists. But that executive order included two very specific gangs. One was Tren de Aragua, and the second one was La Mara Salvatrucha, also known as MS-13. Both of those gangs are from South America, and the importance of that is that they needed to designate gangs from South America as a code to greenlight the racial profiling of everyone who just looks South American, using the lie that they are MS-13 to legally justify their illegal deportations even as US citizens. Because that's exactly what they did to Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the Maryland man that they illegally deported to El Salvador, claiming he was MS-13, where it was then found by a judge that he wasn't MS-13 at all. So now that we know that this is their strategy, who else are they coming after? Well, the counterterrorism strategy is specifically saying Americans have witnessed the political motivated killings of Christians and conservatives committed by violent left-winged extremists. Now let's be very clear.
Another word, they're creating the law for them to go after anybody that they want, so they could make it legal, so they don't get prosecuted. But this type of heavy document, shouldn't this go through Congress? So he's bypassing Congress to do all of this. Oh my Lord. Let's continue.
That left-wing extremist label is a label that conservatives use to call anyone who disagrees with them. But then they go on to say, quote, "Counterterrorism activities will prioritize the rapid identification and neutralization of violent secular political groups whose ideologies are anti-American, radically pro-transgender, and anarchist. We will use all the tools constitutionally available for us to map them at home, identify their membership, and use law enforcement tools to cripple them operationally before they can maim and kill the innocent. They're talking about anyone who isn't MAGA. They're saying that they will deem anyone who isn't MAGA a left-wing extremist and un-American to legally justify surveilling you, finding you in your home, and neutralizing you. And by neutralize, I mean that there's a reason Trump is urging the Department of Justice to reinstate death by firing squad. And if you still don't believe me, look further into the playbook where it talks about counterterrorism strategies that are necessary against the new and deepening alliances between the far left and Islamists. For example, the Red and Green Alliance. And the Red and Green Alliance is MAGA-coded language for both radical leftists and Islamists have utilized the master frame of anti-globalization, anti-capitalism, and the master frame of anti-colonialism and anti-imperialism to elicit support from the widest range of people. Translation, they're talking about people behind a politician like Mamdani, because essentially what they're saying is Mamdani, a Muslim mayor, is a threat to the American way of life because he disrupts and exposes the exploitative state of capitalism and corruption that benefits the ultra-wealthy elites. You know how I know? Because in his first 100 days, Mamdani has delivered on his biggest campaign promises like free universal childcare, assembling a rent guidelines board that creates the conditions for rent freezes, established the Office of Deep Theft Prevention that has negatively and disproportionately impacted black families, won a $31 million settlement in court against slumlords in the Bronx to give back to tenants,
That's right.
balanced a $12 billion budget deficit that he inherited without cutting any social services for people, and finally fucking taxed the rich. This entire counterterrorism strategy is only the beginning of a radical authoritarian government trying to legally justify illegally targeting anybody who dares critique MAGA, capitalism, imperialism, and the lie of American exceptionalism. That's what the fuck is happening.
Alright, so because he mentioned Mamdani in New York, I had a tweet regarding Mamdani. Let me share it with you. What he's talking about. Because he's delivering what needs to be done in New York. Alright, new Zohran Mamdani to permanently fund New York City libraries and parks. Libraries will no longer have to plead for funding each year. Alright, so he's delivering what needs to be done. So now, with what that video just mentioned, this is not what the federal government right now wants to do. Everything needs to go to the rich. Okay, so there's all of that. There's an article. There's no video. There was something. Let me go look for it. There's a video that he put out that I saw. I didn't put it on the list. Let me go search it. And I'm done with this tweet, okay? It's just, there's no videos for it. Alright, so there's the video. I found it. Alright, when we came into office, we uncovered a $12 billion budget deficit. Today, I'm proud to say we brought it down to zero. We then closed the gap on the backs of working people. We close it while funding parks, libraries, safer streets, and making historic investment in public housing. Call it pothole politics, call it democratic socialism. It's government that delivers for the people who make this city run. That's what New Yorkers deserve. That's what we will keep fighting for every single day. All right, almost 2 minutes.
New York, it's executive budget season, and I'm proud to announce that our city's budget is fully balanced. This budget isn't just about numbers on a page. It determines if our libraries get funded, if a street is safe to cross, if snow is actually shoveled after a storm. And you deserve to know exactly how we got here. We inherited a $12 billion budget deficit. We are speaking about a fiscal crisis at the scale greater than the Great Recession. Was the Great Recession? Great Recession. Many said the only way out of this was slashing services and passing an austerity budget. We rejected that. After months of painstaking work, that deficit is now zero. Our city is now on firm financial ground. We achieved this in two major ways: increasing revenue and support from Albany, and cutting waste and finding savings here in New York City. Thanks to Governor Hochul, State Senate Majority Leader Andrea Stewart-Cousins, Assembly Speaker Carl Hastie, and months of organizing from New Yorkers, we tax the rich. That tax alone will raise $500 million per year. And that's not all. Thanks to Governor Hochul and our partners in Albany, we finally got a better deal for New York City. We're getting billions more from the state to help tackle the gap. At the same time, we've been poring over the city budget to identify savings. We reduced unnecessary overtime and found smarter ways for government to deliver services. This all added up to $1.77 billion in total savings. Our budget isn't just about closing deficits. It's about building a city New Yorkers can actually afford. On day 8 of our administration, we announced a historic partnership with Governor Hochul to finally deliver universal childcare. That's $1.2 billion in new funding from Albany. And this was just the beginning. Investments in citywide trash containerization, cheaper groceries, safer streets, relief for taxi drivers are all on the way. And we're increasing funding for libraries, parks, and cultural institutions. I promise to make sure you were part of this budget process every step of the way. This is your city. These are your tax dollars. And this budget should reflect your priorities. We're proud to put forward a budget for the working people of this city. And we're going to do it again next year. And next year. And next year.
All right, so that's that. All right, let's go to the next tweet. You know, the country has money, but these people, they don't want to share it. They just want it for themselves, and then when they have it, they waste it. All right, this is the next tweet. White people are trying to do anything they can do to hold Black America back, but this will end up affecting everyone. All right, another good video. I didn't listen to it yet. I was just going by the caption.
So Elon Musk, he is suing the government for the right to discriminate against you and I, right? But, and a lot of Black Americans, we've been speaking out on this, and we understand, you know, how this could affect us. But I don't think other people and races understand that they will also be affected. So I found this video very interesting, and yeah, check this out. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Also, let me know if you've even heard about this.
Elon Musk is suing the government for the right to let AI discriminate against you when it comes to hiring, loans, housing, and college admissions. You probably think AI does not affect you because you do not use ChatGPT, but you are wrong. Nepo baby Elon and Trump's Justice Department are arguing in federal court that if an algorithm screens job applicants and picks too many people from minority zip codes, the company must recalibrate the algorithm to be more favorable to white Americans. That is a direct quote from the United States government in court. They are not arguing that AI should be neutral. They are arguing that the algorithm has a constitutional right to look at your name, race, gender, zip code, and treat you differently. However, their fight against diversity will hurt white Americans too. Let's say you get hurt on the job, become disabled. The algorithm rejects your application because the data says people like you cost more. Then your son marries a Latina. They cannot get an apartment because the algorithm flagged her race as dangerous, and she cannot move out. Your white granddaughter cannot get the loan for college because the algorithm decided women are bad at science. These policies are not protecting you. They are building a machine that decides who is worth less, and eventually, that is everyone. This comes from the man whose Tesla factory is facing a class action from nearly 6,000 Black workers, where managers called them racial slurs more than 50 times a day. Last July, Musk's own AI chatbot Grok started praising Hitler and calling itself Mecha Hitler, while the same AI was used to generate sexually explicit deep fakes of women and minors, including a 14-year-old actress. XAI apologized, but they did not learn the lesson. Now his company, XAI, is in federal court trying to kill a Colorado law that says AI cannot discriminate in protected categories, and the Trump Justice Department jumped in to help him. Their argument is simple. A law protecting you from algorithmic discrimination is itself discrimination.
See, what they are doing right now, while they're pretty much the House, the Senate. I know it's in Colorado, but I'm talking in terms of the federal government. The House, the Senate, the Justice Department, the Supreme Court. All right. Let's say if they lost in Colorado, they could bring it up all the way to the Supreme Court, and they already know the Supreme Court will give it to them. All right. So they're roaming through the entire thing. That makes the country what it is. They put their people in place to overturn it. All right, so people better pay attention. People better pay attention. And this is, I don't know if mainstream media are highlighting this type of things. So this is another reason why they pretty much grab all form of communication, defund NPR, defund whatever other public broadcasting, PBS, and the other mainstream medias, the CBS, what else, NBCs and all of that, CNN. They have their people there to blind the rest of the country. So I don't know if they're really talking about these things. These are newsworthy type of things. There's so many other things I'm not even sharing with you. Not that I don't want to share. I just don't have time. All right, let's go to the next tweet. All right, let's pause this. All right, based on undeniable evidence, Black history has been stolen and changed on purpose. Why do you think McGraw-Hill produced all our education? I remember when I was young, I didn't know too much about, the politics of things. But one thing I used to be questioned, because public school textbook used to be, from my understanding at that time, I would say maybe middle school, used to be published by a firm in Texas. And I used to question myself, why those books are being published in Texas. I used to have a somewhat a negative annotation, even though I didn't know too much about the politics of Texas, but I remember thinking about these type of things. All right, so I went and searched. All right, on New York City public school textbooks made in Texas. It says not directly, but New York City public school textbooks are often influenced by Texas standard. Okay, it's almost the same thing. Almost the same thing. Influence. But for some reason, I remember in middle school, I questioned myself. And I was like, why those textbooks? I don't know if it's something that was being discussed on TV or something like that, but it crossed my mind. So not directly, but influenced by. All right, so let's get back to this. I just wanted to check myself. Anyway, 1 minute and 16 seconds.
Pay attention.
I feel that since everyone now is aware about, okay, we were Indians, quote unquote, all this stuff, we're not going past that. We're not going past what was before Cherokee, Choctaw, all them nations. We're not going past that. We're not going to where we was in castles, in Tartaria building, mounds, pyramids, all type of stuff. And then it's even stuff before then. Nigga, we had floating cribs in the sky. It get deeper than that. And I feel like in order for us to reclaim our gods and goddesses status, first we need to know who we are. That's the first step. And then we just need to widen our knowledge, because once you tell one lie, you gotta keep telling them. So that's why it's all these different names, all these different things, how we were destiny swapped from different people. And now them people, they're getting kicked out their reservations, the government not giving them no more money. It's a whole thing. But this was to come, because you cannot keep pretending to be something that you're not. And like whatever, but it's like these names and stuff was given to us. If you want a piece of land with everybody that looks like you, you would not need to know that you're Indian. You would not need to know that you're a part of this XYZ, because y'all all are the same. Y'all all are connected. So that's once again paper genocide, the whole ordeal.
This is what I mean.
All right, let's pause this. Any more thing? Okay, I don't know, read too much. So this guy usually put a lot of things out there, but I wanted to focus on that. If you want me to come and share some of these with you, put the timestamp so I could go straight to it, and then I will look on my how do you call this, my notes, and go back to it. All right, but I don't have that much time. Next week, this is another one. White people are falsely taught that savage black people began slavery and good white people ended slavery. Enslaved black people emancipated themselves through mass escapes and resistance rebellion rather than passively waiting for liberal whites to free them. This is something I've always said. When you look at Haiti independence, and also in the US, the free slave, we didn't have all these huge machine guns, huge weapons to free ourselves. We did what we needed to do. All right, despite the perpetrators had all the upper hand with all those machine, the weapons and whatnot. So let's listen to this. 1 minute and 55 seconds. There's a lot of other things that's being put out there. I'm just gonna focus on those videos, okay?
I just want to remind y'all that black people escaped slavery because they was fucking white people up. That's how they got out of slavery. I don't care what them books say. I don't care what that teacher said. I don't care what you learned. in the United States educational system, black people escaped slavery because they was fucking white people up. That's how they got out. Do you see how they act? Do you see how white supremacy as a system, do you understand? We are living through it now. Like, do you see and understand how it behaves? Are you paying attention? There's no bottom. There's nothing too evil. So you think they had black people exactly where they wanted them, in chains. You think they developed some type of moral consciousness to be like, oh, we shouldn't treat black people like that. They're humans. No, in fact, they codified into the law that we were in fact not human beings. Black people escaped slavery because they was fucking white people.
White people, okay, just in case she's using the F word, but pretty much beat up, okay?
Supremacy as a system has existed. Black people have resisted the system of white supremacy. And black people got out of slavery because they was fucking white people up. Just like, I be saying this on my other socials, I don't know if I've ever said it on here, but them voter rights act that they just gutted, the voter rights act, baby, when they signed that shit into law, the country was on fire. And I'm not being hyperbolic, like I'm not trying to exaggerate. The country was on fire when they signed it. I think I just wanted to get that out, have an honest conversation about, you know, where we are as a nation. And what it might take to restore all that we have lost.
And even when you look at religion as well, I think I mentioned this in one of my videos, when you look at the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, even if we don't know the Bible, we don't know a lot of things, but with our time, we could compare what's happening now and in comparison to other things that had happened where we were not alive. White people love to do lynching, and then they want to take credit for being, I don't know, Christian or whatnot. I remember one of the history, architecture history that I took, I remember one of my professors was saying, Christianity is a poor people religion. I'll never forget that. But when you think about it and see what had happened in the in history and what's happening now, you could compare it and said, okay, yes, black people, Jesus was black because those white supremacists continue doing the same nonsense that was in the past with the lynching and things like that. Which group usually put people, I mean, I'm trying to be careful with my vocabulary here because of YouTube, who unalive people in that type of manner, like on a course type of thing. Substitute the course with a tree. Alright, so that's that. Let's leave that alone. Next sheet. I have two more. Alright, so there's that here. This is exactly how friends steal billions from Africa. How many minutes is that?
When you look at Niger.
Okay, so there's some music behind this and it's very loud. So I'll try my best to not get flagged for the video while this person is talking. There will be a screenshot. Obviously, I cannot just let the video play. Probably this will be the screenshot and there will be music on top of it. So I'm sorry if you have a hard time listening to it because I'm trying not to get flagged for it by YouTube.
Niger powers France, literally. More than half of the energy, the electricity that France uses is based on nuclear energy. It comes from nuclear energy. Nuclear energy, uranium. Niger has one of the largest deposits of uranium, not just in Africa but in the world. So for the longest time, Niger has been powering France, literally. Take Niger away, take the uranium away, and those hot baths that you take in Paris, they might just be problem. Anytime a foreign nation must come into your country to intervene, you're not sovereign at all. So when we have all these cases of foreign armies on African soil in the name of bases, military bases, including Kenya, including Djibouti, we're not sovereign at all. Yeah, exactly.
And they're doing this in Haiti as well. If I'm not mistaken, I think the US just took the airport, the national airport. What do you call it? In Haiti, they create their base there. So Haiti, there's problem to come. Problem to come.
Exactly. You see, like that speaks to the fact that the internal sovereignty is not there because we are not in control of certain sections of the country. Africa needs to have its own currency. This business of 54 different currencies all over Africa, they make it easy for IMF, for World Bank, for USA, for Britain, and for these countries to just manipulate Africa. Africa must have its currency, man. If Africa has its own currency that is backed by Africa's vast mineral resources, I kid you not, it will be the most powerful currency in the world. Do you know, Lynn, that Francophone Africa has had more than 100 attempted coups over the last 5, 6 decades. A few of those coups d'etats were popular revolutions. The people were behind it. But for the most of these coups d'etats, whether attempted or successful, it's actually France that was behind it. And the reason France was behind it was when they no longer liked a president, they would take him out. Samori Touré turned vast villages into gun and weapons manufacturing centers. Right here in Africa. Right here. Now, there's a second key right there. In 3 words, that key is made in Africa. Unless we make what we consume, unless we produce what we consume, they will always defeat us. We will always be beholden to them. Samori Touré proved for 18 long years, the French were unable to defeat him. Completely. Many of the corrupt ruling elite in Africa, the corrupt ruling elite globally, they would want the African to continue sleeping because an awakened African is the one who will take this world to the next.
Alright, so some of the things he has said can easily be applied to Haiti. Look what happened to the president of Haiti. They assassinated. Okay, so that's that. Let's move on. Okay, there's comment. Oh, not too many comments.
When you look at Niger,
let's move on. Next tweet. I have 2 more. Alright, the last one is very good. White culture is framed in savagery. Alright. 1 minute and 37 seconds.
White culture is formed in savagery. I also said there isn't a place on God's green earth that they haven't come there and decimated the native inhabitants. There isn't a place. They're murderous savages. That's their culture. They call it conquest. We call it savagery.
There's a video that I did where I read, I think this is the same person. That image looks familiar. Slightly before the 2020 election or 2024 election, where this intellectual person, a PhD level, I don't know if she was a professor, she did a long thread about, I think it's that person, I forgot the name. I'll show you the thumbnails of that video and you could go check it out. And there was a time I went to look back at the tweet that I read. The tweet no longer there because I had the link of the tweet within the video. It's no longer on YouTube, on Twitter anymore. But I read the entire tweet in my video. Okay, so let's continue.
This is broad history. This is the history of white cultures. When they have the intention to invent a weapon, they don't just invent a weapon that can harm an enemy in one-to-one combat. No. They invent bombs that can decimate entire populations. They invent viruses like smallpox that they spread amongst unvaccinated Native Americans and then decimate their populations. And therefore the Americans, have got a native population which is less than the settler population in certain countries like Argentina. I mean, even a country like Brazil, yes, obviously there are still some native inhabitants there, but their population is less than those who were brought in from Africa as slaves, as well as those who came in as European settlers in the colonial times. So the culture of white people throughout white history, even to this very date, is that of savagery. It's that of inhumane behavior that is normalized to the point where they feel like they're entitled to behave like that.
I'm telling you, when I started doing videos about Harry and Meghan, I used to give my opinion, and then as I get deeper and deeper, it just blew my mind. I had absolutely no word for the kind of things that I saw these people were doing. This video pretty much explained that. It's savagery completely, inhumane. And then many times I have said, they want to take credit for creation of black people. Whatever things that black people had invented and whatnot, these white people want to take credit for it. And then when I put one and one together, and I was like, these people have so much time, they spend so much time of destroying. How will they have time of creating some of those things that black people have created? Okay, so that's that. Next tweet, I have one more and that will be it. Oh, I didn't know this was that. Let me see here. The last time I checked, Meghan was not tax funded. Okay, so I put this by accident. I don't know why. Let me stop for a second. Yeah, this one should not be there, so I'm gonna skip that one. This is my last tweet here. This one is very good. All right, let me put, okay, it's not playing. This man went on vacation to Australia and he walked into this shop, and when the owner heard he was American, he said, just stay here, don't go back. Then he asked what the hell was happening in the US and why are we letting it happen. The rest of the world is wondering the same thing. All right, so
what's up, man?
What's going on, man?
Man, I'm from Miami.
No way.
I'm just trying to figure out.
Are you really from the States?
Yeah.
Bro, stay here. What are you? I swear, I used to love that country. What's happened over there, man? No, come on. No, I don't want.
Everybody's feeling it now.
No, bro. We don't want to get political, but we're Australians. We always believed America to be like the boss, the sheriff, the good guys. It doesn't look like that, man.
Right.
Now everyone in Australia,
I feel your sentiment.
We love the Americans. We're an ally.
Right.
But something.
We love you guys too.
There's something wrong there, bro.
Yeah, man.
Because I just don't feel it, you know.
Right. Hopefully it'll get better.
I hope. We hope, because we look to you as the saviors, man.
Wow, the man from the land down under, man. I appreciate you.
Not just me. We all do.
Wow.
I'm gonna grow up with America, man.
Wow.
It's so sad.
Wow.
I can't stand to see the people suffering over there. Why, with a country so rich, you don't have medical cover? Why?
Wow.
Why don't you have that? Why can't you afford that? How many missiles have they sent in the last 2 months?
Wow.
They could have built 1,000 hospitals, man.
Wow.
You could compare what I just showed you about Zohran Mamdani doing in New York. All right?
I don't know what it is, bro.
Hopefully we get better. Keep us in your prayer. My name is Ace on YouTube.
I'll look up for you, Ace.
Like I've said, the United States is on a pedestal right now. The world is watching. Now, it's up to American. The 92%ers and the 80%ers know already. Is the rest of the country, the MAGAs, the whites or whatnot, will understand it? Alright, so I thought I put this.
What's up, man?
What's going on, man?
So that is it. You could pause and read these. Australia has its own issues, okay? I remember talking about not too long ago this Aboriginist who's, I believe she was an elected official when she went to the parliament and whatnot. They have their own issues, okay? It's just that many of these countries, Australia, UK, New Zealand, they know how to do this thing under the radar. But it's happening, okay? It's happening everywhere. Watch. If everything that the Trump administration wants to do and do it with no resistance, all right? Because they want to neutralize the resistance, which is African American. And in one of the videos I did yesterday where I showed you where Israeli official came to the US saying, who is the biggest problem for Israel? Which is African American. So they're gonna go after African American because African American have been the resistance when they go places. They there's a video that I did. I mentioned, or did I do it, or I'm not sure. where during the Holocaust, which were World War II or something, they put nonsense in the locals' head. If they see black people, they talking how barbaric, they run forward to smear campaign Black Americans. Okay? So when the Americans went to those areas and those villages, and then the African American soldiers were treating them like human, give them food, clothing, and they were shocked. They were shocked. They were like, what happened? They told us you were this, you were that. But when they experience, they see a one-on-one with the African American soldiers were not what they told them they were shocked. So all of the good things the rest of the world used to see about America was African American vision. So they want to make sure, I mean, the Israelis, which is MAGAs, they know, they've been watching. So in order for them, I'm telling you, if the MAGAs, the Trump administration, succeed with what they're trying to do, the rest of the world is in trouble. Many will say, oh, we could stop them, we have our own weapon and all of that. No, because they have their MAGAs in those countries too. They want free range. They don't want any resistance to stop them. They're everywhere. If you go to some of the videos, probably a little bit after the 2024 election, you know, after I got back online and I accepted and I went to my grief stages, sorrow, shocked, and then accept the election, and then I come to my conclusion of acceptance, and I was like, okay. I came back and did a video, and I was like, you know what? The rest of the world will get to see what America is all about. What they were seeing was African American kind of vision. We were the African American were the one who was pretty much putting the country on a pedestal in a way where, you know, when things happen, other countries, to prevent, like this guy was saying about, you know, shock. We were the forefront of democracy. But what Trump has done here, it shows a completely 360. People around the world are watching. But if you are in different countries, let's say the UK, France, whatever part in Australia, Germany, you have MAGAs there as well. Before I start this video, there's a video that someone sent it to me. I never shared it. That was way before the 2024 election. It was showing certain part, I believe it was in Europe. They have their armies ready. Okay? The person shared a video with me. I didn't want to show it because I didn't know the full context of it. But what I saw and what I understood from that video is the MAGA armies who's ready. Okay? They have their people ready in Europe. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, let's do a prayer. The last prayer that I did, pray for society. And let's pick one that is clear. Alright, let's do this one. Okay, prayer for junior members. Ooh, okay. God, you stood beside us in time of trouble. You offer us strength, courage, and hope. Your promises never fail. Help us to have the trust and your love for us so we may turn our times of trials around. Oh, it fits perfectly with this video. So that is it. Please take a moment to subscribe. Oh, not this channel. We're going to put it here. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. I pretty much been recording all night. It's almost 6 o'clock and I haven't even started editing yet. So that is it. Thank you for watching.
Savanaka. It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life.
You are all in this together, and if I may speak personally, we are all in this together, because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better